Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Ian Mutchler here for our Wednesday night edition of FSU Weather. Taking a live look out at Doak Campbell Stadium. We've got quite the pretty sunset right now. Temperatures right now at 69 degrees, quite a mild temperature after what we've seen this weekend with those cool temperatures. Here at the current temperatures, as we can see, 69 degrees here in Tallahassee, 70 up in Monticello, 71 in Madison. Really mild temperatures, quite above average for this time of year, but we'll take it. Here's a live look at that radar. We got some showers up to our northwest here up into Alabama and Georgia, but for our area in the tri-state area, we are looking rather clear. That is going to change, and we'll get to that later in the show. And here's tonight's headlines. As you can see, rain chances and a cool down this weekend, a major winter storm, and once again, cool and dry conditions next week.
Thanks, Ian. That is right. We have a lot to talk about here on FSU Weather on the Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. Of course, with the major winter storm that is likely to impact places like Central and North Texas this week, even all the way down to Houston, might even see a little bit of a wintry precipitation over there. And then, of course, we are going to be staying pretty warm as we get into the rest of the week. It's not until Friday where we actually start seeing those rain chances go up here in the local Tallahassee area, ahead of that same cold front though, but we won't see the snow and all that here. I guess that's why we live in Florida, right? So yeah, so none of that here. But really the winter storm warnings go all the way from the Mexican border all the way up to Canada. That's over 2,000 miles, so that's certainly a lot to cover. So make sure if you are in those areas, to take precautions for wintry weather. Make sure to keep your places warm, of course. Make sure you have your supplies just in the event if there are any significant, any type of significant wintry problems over there. Also, make sure you prepare for your car as well in case you need gas or anything like that. But I'll turn things over to the wall with Ian for our local segment.
Thanks, Aaron. So right now it is 69 degrees, mostly cloudy, and we have somewhat of a nice sunset we see right here. It's not as pretty as we've seen for the past couple days, but hopefully it'll get better sometime this week. But now we're looking at the radars. Right now Tallahassee is not going to have too much precipitation going on, but we see that front way to the west of us. So we're going to be seeing those rain chances increase throughout the week. For the temperature almanac, today is going to be 75 degrees. And then the low is going to be 46, but for the averages, it's going to be, we're way above average for 65 and 42, but the record, luckily we're not that hot yet. And for way cold in 1951, thank God we're not that cold. But current temperatures, it's nice degrees, 69, and Madison's going to be 71, so it's going to be around the similar temperatures throughout our area. With St. Mark's going to be 66. But the current dew points, it's pretty nice. It's not too muggy, it's not too dry, so it's a nice time to go outside to do some anything, go to the park or anything like that. But now looking at the future radar, you see the rain coming in from the west, and it should be coming to bring some hopefully cold temperatures soon. But tonight's forecast, 60 degrees in Tallahassee, Madison's going to be 58, Perry's going to be 60, and then by the coast it's going to be 61, and then St. Mark's is going to be 59. Tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be lots of sun and very warm with 74 in Tallahassee, but 76 in Thomasville, and 82 in Valdosta, and 79 in Perry. Tonight in Tallahassee, we see the mostly cloudy skies with winds of 4 miles an hour, and getting down to a little chilly to be 57. And tomorrow, we're going to be seeing those temperatures around the same as today, 74, partly cloudy, winds picking up to be 14 miles an hour. And the week ahead, it's going to be 80% chance of rain on Friday, and Saturday is going to be 60. So now I'm going to bring it on to Ian for the next segment.
Yeah, thank you so much. So taking a look here at the wide shot of the Florida radar, as we can see, there's that cold front up there pushing through. That's going to bring us those cold and rainy conditions this weekend. As you can see, it's right here near the Alabama-Florida border right here, bringing those rainy conditions through, and that's going to sweep through as we get closer towards the weekend. And there's that zoomed-in view of the Panhandle. As we can see over there, right at the Florida-Alabama line, we're seeing those rain showers come in. As for most of Florida, Panama City, Tallahassee, we are clear for the moment, but that is going to change as we get closer to the weekends. And here's that live look at Panama City. As we can see, it is pretty cloudy as that cold front starts to move in. 68 degrees, cloudy, a little bit windy, east-southeast at 11 miles per hour as that front starts to push through. Here's that Apalachicola Radar, really quite clear right now. As of today, and at least half of tomorrow, we are going to stay mostly dry, but once we get closer towards Friday and Saturday, we're going to see that rain start to move in and those temperatures to start to drop. Here's a North Florida radar. Most of our shower activities are remaining offshore. Jacksonville is remaining dry, Daytona Beach, all that shower activity is staying in the ocean, so really not too bad of a beach day. Quite warm for this time of year, so really not too bad of a day. Here's that live look at Gainesville, 70 degrees right now, mostly cloudy, quite a pretty sunset there with some pinks and some purples there. Winds out of the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. Really quite a picturesque sunset here in Gainesville. Here's a live look at South Florida. We got some shower activities down near Boca Raton, West Palm area, but in regards to the rest of South Florida down to Miami, maybe the West Coast, Fort Myers, Naples, Marco Island, we are staying rather dry. So really not a bad beach day. Not every day you can say that in February down here. So here's that live look at Miami, 73 degrees, quite a gorgeous day for Miami, 73 degrees and partly cloudy. A little windy there, east-southeast at 14 miles per hour, but once again, quite a nice day. Sorry about that. Current temperatures right now, 73 degrees down in West Palm, 73 in Miami, quite warm here in Tampa, 79, that's our high point for the map right now. 69 up here in Tallahassee, 67 in Jacksonville, and winds a little bit more chilly here, 63 at Pensacola. And here's those dew points. So this is a measure of how humid the atmosphere is. A little bit more muggy down here in Miami, 61, 67 down here in Key West. That's getting a little bit more muggy. But up here in Tallahassee, 49, it's really not too bad. Nothing like what we saw this weekend where we had those record-breaking dew points down into like the teens. So really quite comfortable right here. A little muggy down here in South Florida, but overall not too bad. And tonight in Florida, as we can see, 63, 60s across, maybe a 72 as our high point down in Key West. And tomorrow we can see that cold front push through and warm temperatures down into South Florida and a little bit warmer up here in North Florida. So I'm going to pass things off to Aaron here.
Thanks, Ian. Across much of the southeast, we'll be seeing those cooler temperatures, of course, except for here in Florida, where we are embracing the Sunshine State, of course, with those warmer temperatures across the area. But a live look at most of the southeast, you can see Blacksburg, Virginia is sitting at 42 degrees with some clouds overhead, so not as bright as places like Gainesville, where they have a beautiful sunset right now. It's currently sitting at 70 degrees. You see those, like Ian mentioned earlier, with those pinks and those blues behind in the background. In Atlanta, Georgia, at 52 right now under mostly, or cloudy conditions, I should say. And then over into Bowling Green, Kentucky, again, with those cloudy skies sitting at 51 right now. Our current temperatures are in the 60s and 70s across much of the state of Florida. But of course, here's the cold front moving its way in, or places like, you can see the Jackson actually sitting at 65, just behind the cold front at 39 degrees. So quite a stark difference in our temperatures right now in the northwestern part of the region. Of course, extending all the way down to Texas. But this cold front will progress further off to the east, and that will bring us eventually some cooler temperatures on Friday. It might bring might bring temperatures down into the 50s for highs across the area. And here are dew points. We see a little bit of a nose right here, right ahead of the cold front, as you have that southerly wind coming out of the south from the Gulf. So over towards New Orleans, seeing a little bit muggier than we are in the 60s. But of course, Little Rock, where it is drier, is at 36 right now. And our southeast radar shows the cold front right now pushing its way through about Arkansas into Tennessee. There's that wintry mix right now up in places like Missouri, down towards the northwestern portions of the great state of Arkansas. Then, of course, rain further off to the east. So places like Nashville, Huntsville, and over towards the Appalachians, we'll see some rain right now. Most of it's pretty light, but there is some moderate rain right now across the area. Our future radar does show those showers progressing. And then, of course, we will have that sleet and possible snow up in places like Arkansas again, and then maybe even places along the Gulf Coast in New Orleans could see some wintry precipitation as well. Our rainfall forecast does show the blues and the greens across much of the southeast. See that red right there over towards places like Birmingham and up towards Huntsville, where you could see about 5 inches of rain is possible in those areas. Tonight's lows across the southeast, we'll see 50s and 60s in Florida. Down towards Miami, we will be sitting at 70 degrees right now. And then, of course, we do have a little bit of some cooler temperatures up in the Carolinas. We're sitting at 46 degrees in Charlotte, 54 in Charleston. But it'll be making its way closer to our area in the southeast. And, of course, Thursday in the southeast, we'll see that temperature gradient as we see the cold front making its way into much of the area. But, of course, we will talk about more about that in our winter desk coming up with Ian and I should say, the other guy right now.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are going to talk about that winter storm that's sweeping across the plains in the Midwest right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a doozy this week.
Absolutely.
So make sure you guys be prepared.
So let's take a look at it. So we got a major winter storm that's stretching from Texas down to New York. That is quite the stretch of the United States.
Yeah.
So we are going to see significant ice accumulation in Dallas and Memphis. Those are areas that don't really see winter weather as often as so.
Yeah.
So and once again, highest snowfall in 100 years possible in Fort Wayne. We are forecasting maybe even 18 inches.
Oh. So looking at North Texas right now, you see the cold front going through, and then the mixed precipitation, which is the pink, and then you see the snow after the cold front. That's what's that's the main problem looking at this storm.
Yeah, absolutely. So those pinks are representing the wintry mixes, so the freezing rains and the sleets. And once we get to the blues, that's our snow, and that's where we're really going to see a lot of those problems with roads, school closures, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is going to be quite the issue here. Dallas is certainly not as well equipped to handle stuff like this.
But now looking at Memphis, it's a similar situation. You see the mixed rain, and the blue coming after, which is the snow. Mm-hmm. And my sister lives in Nashville. She's going to get some snow. Absolutely. Hopefully, she has a really tiny dog. The dog can play in the snow, but that's going to be fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it is important, though, when we see these winter storms come through to take care of those pets, your plants, stuff like that. Things that aren't necessarily as well equipped to handle winter weather. And once again, these are areas that don't see major winter storms as often as areas like the Northeast or Michigan and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at Indiana, you see mostly snow going through Indianapolis. So it's going to be lots of snow, like we were talking about earlier, maybe up to 18 inches.
Absolutely. Yep. And if that forecast does verify, that is going to be record-breaking for areas north of Indianapolis, the Fort Wayne area. So potentially a record-breaking weekend ahead.
Yeah, make sure if you have family up there, make sure you let them know and try to stock up on food now. Hopefully, the roadways will be fine. But
absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, this is the same storm system that is going to bring us our rain and our cooler temperatures this weekend. So
luckily not as cold as those.
Yeah, absolutely. Not as cold as last weekend either.
Oh yeah, that was very cold.
Very cold, very cold. So yeah.
But now we're going to bring it on to the next segment.
Dallas.
That is right. If you are from Dallas, you might see some cooler temperatures this weekend with also some snow. Across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But today in Dallas, it hit a high of 59 degrees, which is actually pretty normal for this time of year. So a pretty typical day across North Texas. So certainly not along any of the records in the 80s or, of course, in the single digits. But across North Texas right now, you can see Dallas is at 38 degrees right now. Up into Sherman, 31 degrees. And if the farther south it needs to go, the warmer it is. So down towards Athens is at 41 degrees, and Corsicana at 41 right now. The dew points right now are bone dry in the 30s. This will begin to plummet, though, as we get into the rest of the evening tonight, with dew points possibly in the teens in single digits tomorrow, which means it's going to be very dry. So might need an extra chapstick there if you're heading out the door tomorrow. And across Dallas metro area now, you can see the rain is beginning to transition into that wintry mix. Might see some sleet and freezing rain over here in the pink coming up in the next few hours or so as nighttime does begin to fall upon the city. And then, of course, we do have that snow over to the north and west of the city, places along the Oklahoma-Texas border all the way back into the Texas Panhandle are seeing some snow. And again, this is just reinforcing that. We do see that snow right now along the I-44 corridor from about the Red River to the north, and then over towards places like Amarillo. We'll see some snow currently right now. And the wider view in North Texas right now does show that snowfall all the way down up into actually Oklahoma as well. And much of southern Oklahoma right now is under a sleet, has much of that sleet right now in the freezing rain, which can be very dangerous if you are driving out on the roadways. And then, of course, that does extend all the way further into New Mexico down near the border. Our future radar over Dallas does show that change or the transition into some sleet and freezing rain, but then the snow looks like will begin to exit out of the area as we get into tomorrow, with some clouds lingering as far as even Friday morning. So it will be a pretty chilly day across much of North Texas. Our GFS snowfall forecast does show anywhere between about 1 to 3 inches of snow across the area. Could see a few higher amounts, especially off to the north along the Texas-Oklahoma border and off to the west. But at least right along the city, now it's expected, according to the GFS model, to bring about 1 to 3 inches of snow. And our watches and warnings show the pink right now, which is a winter storm warning right now across the entire Dallas-Fort Worth metro area right now. We do have some winter storm watches right now in effect for the far eastern sections of the area. So if you're traveling out of the Dallas-Fort Worth across places like I-30, that way you will see potential for some freezing conditions as well. The 3-day forecast right now for Dallas-Fort Worth does show that dip in cold temperatures, but eventually we'll bring our way up into the 30s as we make our way into the later part of Saturday. How about that, Ian?
Yeah, they can keep it. So I'm going to take a look here at the national. As we can see, there are those cold temperatures there in the Midwest. Texas, Oklahoma seeing temperatures well below freezing, especially up here in the Dakotas, 0 degrees up here in Bismarck. Quite the stark contrast to what we're seeing down here in Tallahassee, where it's 69 degrees and sunny. So I don't know about you, but I'll take it. And here's a look at our dew points. Remember, this is a measure of how humid the atmosphere is. So up here, we are very dry, negative 11 degrees of a dew point here in Bismarck. And here's that southeast. We can see with those green colors, that's denoting more humid air masses. So 49 here as a dew point in Tallahassee, 65, that's quite muggy down here in New Orleans, and 61 down there in Miami. So quite the stark contrast across the nation here. And here's a look at our surface analysis here. As we can see, here's that cold front coming here, bringing all that rain and snowy weather, and that's what's going to bring us our cold temperatures this weekend. So that's what's bringing the wintry conditions here in Oklahoma, and what will bring the winter conditions here in Dallas that we've talked about all show. And here's a look at that water vapor, more of the same. This is that one big weather system that's going to bring winter weather all the way across the nation and bring us our cool and rainy conditions this weekend. So. And here's a look at the northwest. We've got a little bit of rain mix moving just south of Seattle, maybe more near Portland, maybe some snowy conditions out here to the east of Washington, but really nothing that they're not used to up in Seattle in the northwest. Again, here in the North Plains, we've got some of those that wintry conditions down here in Kansas, excuse me. More wintry conditions here in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, all part of one big storm system. Again, this is the story of the night, is that one big storm system that's affecting the entire nation. Again, the Northeast, we got some rain and wintry conditions in upstate New York, maybe near Buffalo and Toronto. Nothing too crazy, some cloudy conditions, but as we get near the southern tip of New York, it is a little bit clearer, but once again, they will be impacted just the same as we all have by this winter storm here. Again, in the southeast, we can really see that rain starting to push through. This is what's going to give us our conditions this week. So watch out, Tallahassee. This is going to push east, and give us those rainy and cool conditions as it passes. So here's Texas. Here's a live look at Texas. Once again, we've been talking about that winter storm in Dallas. Not something that they're necessarily super prepared for. So we are going to be looking out for our friends in Dallas here. We got some of that wintry mix in the pinks here and the full snow and the blues here, and that is going to push towards Dallas. Temperatures are going to drop, and we are going to see a major snow event here in Dallas. Again, watches and warnings. As we can see, we got winter watches and warnings all the way across the nation, spanning all the way from the Texas-Mexico border all the way up to the New York, Maine, Canada border. So as you can see, this is a international weather storm here, as we can see. Again, storm outlook, not too bad. Maybe some thunderstorms possible as that cold front does push through the southeast here, but nothing too severe that we're looking at. And again, tonight, really chilly conditions up here. Minneapolis, -7. That is quite chilly. 63 down here in Tallahassee, 71 in Miami. So, story of the day, mild for now in the southeast. When that cold front pushes through, temperatures are going to drop, but rest of the nation stays cold. Again, tomorrow you can see that cold front advancing. That is quite the sharp temperature gradient here. That cold front is going to push through, drop our temperatures in the southeast, and temperatures remain cold for much of the rest of the nation. So I will pass things off to Jason for our local.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, luckily we're not seeing those very cold temperatures in Tallahassee because right now it's 69 degrees. It's mostly cloudy, as you can see. Not much of a sunset, sadly. But the winds are going to be 8 miles an hour. And for the temperature almanac, it's going to be 75 for the high today and 46 for the low. So big difference in temperature range. And for the average, we're above average. And the average is 65. And the low, we're higher than the average, which is 42. And if you were wondering where the cold front is, it's right here. It's going to take its while because we're going to get those rain coming in on Friday. So we're not going to be seeing that much tomorrow, but it's going to be very clear. I mean, yeah, not much rain coming in Tallahassee tomorrow and tonight. But as we zoom out, you can see the cold front right here in this distinct shape. And so you're going to see all those drier dew points to the left of it, and still muggy in Tallahassee. For the future radar, you're going to see clouds coming in to Tallahassee, but not much rain tomorrow for Tallahassee. And you're going to be seeing those rains coming in most likely on Friday and Saturday. The current local temperatures, it's going to be 69 Tallahassee, and we're going to be a little colder along the coast for 66 in St. Mark's. And Madison is going to be 71. So not really much of a difference between our area, so it's going to be very nice and not too cold, not too hot. But tonight's forecast is going to be a similar story. It's going to be 60 degrees, so not too cold. And with St. Mark's, it's going to be 59. And as you look, most of these temperatures are around the same, so it's going to be nice temperatures to walk your dog or anything like that. But tonight in Tally, it's going to be 57, mostly cloudy, and winds of 4 miles an hour. Tomorrow's forecast, though, it's going to be similar temperatures as today, but a little more warm, as you see in Thomasville, 76, but 69 in St. Mark's. The dog walk forecast, as I was saying before, is perfect time to let your dog out, walk him around 9 a.m., but then when it gets to noon or 3, it's going to be a little too sweaty for me. But looking the week ahead, you see the cold front coming in on Friday and Saturday, and temperatures are going to drop down on Sunday, which 58, it's not going to be as cold as it was last weekend, but the low temperatures, 41, 40, 41 and 40, and 39 on Tuesday night, which that's going to be very cold. But now I'm going to bring it on to Aaron for the next segment.
That's right, and really much of a roller coaster ride as you saw in the 7-day forecast. But for our lifestyle segment, you can see our area cameras over in Panama City right now. It is a gloomy sky right now with those blues and those grays right now. In the Sportsplex over on campus, you can see actually a pretty nice sky right now with some of the broken clouds up there. And then over towards Lake Bradford, just south of town, you can see again, those broken clouds. It looks like where the sunset actually was back there over the horizon. And then in St. George's Island is also, it looks like a very gloomy time out there over the water. Our FSU Weather Stem camera does show a beautiful, or I should say, kind of a gloomy sky right over Doak Campbell Stadium. Earlier, we actually did have a pretty good, nice sunset behind the stadium. But right now, there are those blues and those broken clouds above us. And for our airport delays on Tallahassee International right now, again, we do have some delays, or actually delays are unlikely, I should say. And really it's because of the nice weather we have right now ahead of the cold front. So really no delays are expected across, at least in the near future. Maybe when we get into, when we get that cold front and possibly some stronger storms on Friday, but at least for right now, if you're heading out the door, or heading out on the plane, I should say, it will be very comfortable 69 degrees at the airport. And again, around the nation, we do have some inclement weather in some places, like in Denver. It is 9 degrees, so make sure if you are heading to Denver, you grab your jacket, and a good one too, because it is snowing right now. If you're heading to Los Angeles, it is 64 degrees. But right now, at least no information on the airport delays. But again, make sure you do bring those jackets if you're heading out anywhere else around the country. For our dog walk forecast tomorrow, we will warm up nicely into the 70s, which is about 5 to 10 degrees above average, which we should be this time of year, about 65. But we will warm up into the low to mid 70s tomorrow, ahead of that that cold front, I should say. So again, you might need a light jacket possibly in the morning if you are walking your dog. But again, as we get in the afternoon, we should see those clouds begin to start clearing and the sun coming out more often. In our stargazing forecast tonight, we have a 0% new moon, I should say. So there is no moon out there. So if you're looking outside, you'll be looking at the stars. And again, very good conditions out there right now, as we don't have any precipitation or any nasty weather out there. But if you're heading out to the basketball game at Clemson, it is going to be 48 degrees under some cloudy skies, and of course being played at Clemson over there. And for our school week planner, we will be in the 70s, and of course it will be a roller coaster ride as we get into the rest of the week. But now we'll close turns and go over to Ian.
Yeah, once again, name of the game today is that winter storm that's going to be affecting the entire nation, including ourselves. Luckily, we will stay away from much of that winter weather, but we are going to see those temperatures drop and rain chances increase in the next couple of days. Once again, it is a entire nation, a storm that's going to impact the entire nation, so it is something it is important to talk about. So once again, this weekend, we're going to have some rainy conditions Friday. Make sure you grab your umbrella. Saturday, grab your umbrella. But after that, those temperatures are going to drop. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous here. Highs in the 50s, lows down into the 40s, maybe some 30s as we get into midweek next week. If you ask me, I think it's perfect temperatures. Last weekend was a little too cold for me, but yeah, other than that, we are looking pretty good for this weekend. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/FSU weather. And finally, you can watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU weather. So make sure you give us a follow. Also on Instagram at FSU weather. Make sure you give us a follow. We could really appreciate it. So once again, I am Ian Muchler. Thank you so much. This has been FSU weather.
So now looking at the week, it's going to be cold front on Friday and Saturday, and then it's going to get colder after the cold front, so make sure you guys watch it. But yeah, thanks for watching. It's been FSU weather. Tune in tomorrow.